Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's showcase from Women Thrive, Unleashing the Power of Women's Voices. We are so excited to have you join us today for our live event. And just to introduce myself, my name is Abigail Rebecca Pugh. I am going to be your co-host today. Well, I'm going to be your host today. I'm normally your co-host, but guess what? If you come and join our event every month, you'll notice that there is one very important person missing, and that is the Women Thrive founder, Rhonda Jan. For those of you who are in our community and have followed us for a while, you'll know that Rhonda has been pregnant and she gave birth a few weeks ago. So she has her beautiful little girl, Maya Rose, as well as her other gorgeous daughter, Selena, who we've just been having a little conversation with backstage. So she is well and truly in her baby bubble, being in her new mama era to two little girls, doing all the things, role modeling all the things. And so she is taking a well-earned, well, I'm not going to say rest because she's got a new baby, but she's taking a break away from the showcase this month. So I am going to be hosting our showcase today, but of course I'm not going to be alone. First of all, I have our wonderful tech team who is supporting our event, who are always amazing and always here to support. And of course, we have our wonderful speakers. So why do we do these events every single month? Well, first of all, it's a great way for you to get to meet the speakers who are going to be speaking on the Women Thrive Summit next year in March 2026. So we always hold our Women Thrive Summit the third week in March. It's very intentional. We do this because it's a couple of weeks after International Women's Day. So, of course, we want to celebrate that. And this is going to be our 6th summit. I can't believe it. It's just crazy and amazing, and just shows you what an incredible success the summit is. And the reason it's so successful is, first of all, you, our audience, and you supporting us and coming and cheering on our speakers, but also the wonderful speakers that we have speaking on our stage every single year. So when we did our showcase this morning, we had Tina on, who is our Women Thrive magazine editor, amongst other fabulous things. And we were just saying, like, every single year we say how amazing this cohort of speakers are. And this year is no exception. We have the most amazing speakers. We're going to be speaking about lots of different things. We are very proud of the fact within Women Thrive that we have a very diverse community of speakers. We have speakers from all around the world, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultures, different ages, different stages within their business, different stages within their speaking career, but all with a real combined mission and a vision to empower the voices of women. So that's one of the reasons why Rhonda Jan, the founder of Women Thrive, set up this community and set up this business in the first place, because she wanted to create stages for women, created for women. And we have a wonderful community of amazing women within the Women Thrive community, not just our speakers. We also have our magazine contributors, we have our podcast guests, we have our book co-authors and solo authors, and all the amazing women that come and join us on our in-person events. And this is one of the events where we really get to celebrate our fantastic speakers. So you are part of the conversation. Even though we can't see you, we can still see your comments in the chat and we can feel your energy. So I just want to encourage you, please, throughout this whole event. We're going to be going for 2 hours. We have got the most amazing speakers to introduce you to. So please make an effort to come on and share whatever it is that's coming up for you when you are watching and listening to the talks today. Share your aha moments. But first of all, we'd really love to know whereabouts you were joining us in the world. As I said before, we have a very diverse global community, and it's always really interesting to see where you are watching us from. We are currently live streaming to all social media channels in the Women Thrive Network. So whichever channel you are watching us on, then it's wonderful to have you here. So we would also love to know, what is it that you really want to be able to create and achieve by watching our showcase today. One of the pieces of feedback that we get from our community all of the time is that, of course, they want to come on and watch the talks from our speakers and also attend the showcase because they want some tangible next steps in order to grow their business or to further their career or to progress within their personal development. But also, we'd really love to know, like, what is it that you want to achieve and you want to be inspired to be? Our speakers on our showcases, so we always do 2 showcases every single month. We always run this showcase the third Thursday of each month. And our showcase this morning, we call it our AM showcase, so AM UK time. We had a lot of speakers on the stage today from the UK and from Europe and from Australia. We also had a few speakers that joined us from the States as well. And, we were talking a lot in that showcase about some of the things that can really hold us back as women, as founders, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as authors, as speakers, or aspiring to be, the things that can often hold us back from really going out there and achieving the things that we really want to achieve. And please know that this platform is here to inspire you. Any challenges that you feel that is going on in your life or your business at the moment, know that you have a community here to support you, and know that you have a group of women who are able to inspire you. We're very proud of our community, as I said before, and we are so excited to have you here. And of course, one of the things that I did want to point out to you as well is, Tina, who came and co-hosted the event with me this morning. She is the editor of the Women Thrive magazine, and this is our magazine this month. So this is the wonderful 𝐤𝐸, who is one of our wonderful community members. We're going to be publishing her solo book, and she's a fantastic speaker and she's an amazing businesswoman. And we're very proud to be able to showcase our speakers and our authors and our community members in this manner. So while you're here, well, not while we're going live, watch this first, and then afterwards make your way over to the Women Thrive website, which is womenthrivemagazine.com, and you can go and read the magazine for yourself and read some of the inspiring stories that we have in here. We do showcase our speakers, so you will see our speakers that are speaking on the stage today, and you might be able to see them in the magazine as well. So welcome wherever you were joining us from. We had a lot of women this morning that were joining us from, as I said, the UK, from USA, from Africa. I see that we have viewers today from South Africa as well. That's amazing. Welcome. So we are going to be moving on to our first speaker. We have got many amazing women that I want to introduce you today, but this is our first fabulous speaker who will be kicking off our showcase today. And this woman, can I just say, she has been in our community for a while now. She's the co-author of our last Women Thrive book. She's an amazing lady, very, very inspirational. And we are so excited to have her also speaking on the Women Thrive stage on the summit in 2026. So I would love to invite onto the stage Dr. 𝐲𝐸 She is a visionary speaker. She's an estate and legacy mentor and the creator of the Her Legacy framework. With over 45 years of experience in education and leadership, 𝐲𝐸 empowers women 55 plus to shape their spiritual, emotional, relational, and financial legacy. 𝐲𝐸, welcome.
Thank you, Abby. I am so honored to be kicking this off today.
It's wonderful to have you here. Please take the stage. I'll be coming on afterwards to have a little chat with you.
Okay, thank you. There comes a moment in every woman's life when all of a sudden the quiet stops. And when it stops, then the questions start and they just get louder and louder. Like, who am I really? what am I doing here? Where am I going? And I think the question that gets asked the most often is, how do I make peace with maybe a family member or a coworker or whatever, while I'm still here writing my story? Because I know there's going to be a story afterwards as well. So I call that little gap that we're talking about here the legacy gap. I've been there, been in that gap, and it wasn't very fun. So the gap is, do I retire now or do I retire later? So you're hung up in this gap and you really are not sure where you're going or what you need to do. My name is Dr. 𝐕𝐨𝐢𝐜𝐞𝐬. I have 45 years in the classroom lecturing to students, presenting things to board members, research articles, conferences. The list just goes on and on and on. And I feel like I've left a pretty good legacy back there, career wise. But to be honest with you, ladies, my greatest lesson didn't come from those speaking engagements. It didn't come from all of these presentation plaques that you see hanging around my head. No. To be very truthful, the degrees, the titles, and everything are quite an honor, but it came from loss. It came from grief. It came from my faith. My greatest lesson that I learned came with my brother's passing. We were very close. We both had very long, successful careers. But with his passing, I sat down in the recliner and I kicked my feet up and I cried. For about 1.5 years, I cried. Didn't do anything. That's that gap, because I didn't know what to do. Didn't really care if I did anything, to be honest with you. But in that silence, what I realized, and this might have been my brother speaking to me indirectly, saying, sis, get off your tush and get on with your life. You've got too much left to do. But it was in that silence that I realized that legacy isn't something that we leave after we pass on. It's what we're doing right now. It's the life that we're dealing with daily. It's the healed hearts. It's the forgiveness. It's the I'm sorry's. It's those brave decisions that we make now that we will pass down. So today, I have recovered a little bit, and I started a program called Her Legacy Frameworks. This program is designed for high achieving women, which is exactly what we are here. And it's to help you leave your legacy. It's to help you navigate that gap. I didn't have anyone to help me navigate my gap. And I realized I'm not alone in this world with this situation. There are other ladies that need this. So I help women move from success to significance. And that means building that legacy that captures those stories, that strengthens the family bonds, that prepares the next generation for both wealth and wisdom. So her, H-E-R, H stands for honor. Honor your life lessons and the healing that's yet unfinished. E stands for educate. Educate the next generation on shared values and stories and family traditions. R stands for rise. Rise into your next chapter with clarity, confidence, and peace. So, I've watched a lot of women who felt unseen step back into their elegance. Ladies, this is not about these wrinkles. It's not about those things. It's not about chasing youth, but it's being blessed in this world today with your earned beauty that you have. So don't avoid aging. Anchor your stories so that your granddaughters, your great granddaughters, whomever can enjoy your legacy. So if you're standing in that legacy gap right now, like I was a year and a half ago, well, for the whole year and a half, reach out to me. I want to take your hand and I want to walk by your side. I don't want you to be alone as you go through that gap because your story isn't over, it's becoming your legacy.
Archie, thank you so much for sharing something so personal. Grief is so personal. Everyone has such a different experience of it. And of course, it's never an enjoyable thing to go through. It's just, it's just awful. But actually, I'm just so happy that you've been able to alchemize that into part of your legacy, the wonderful work that you do. And you talk about grace a lot.
Yeah.
And you gave yourself the grace to grieve and to work your way through that. And look what you're doing now. I mean, I find you so inspirational. And one of the reasons why I find you such an inspiration is that, we're all getting older. We're all aging. No matter what age we are, we're all aging. We can't stop it.
Absolutely.
It's not about fighting it. You talk about embracing it, about owning it, about really finding a way to really love yourself and to leave that wonderful legacy, not just, as you always say, through, money, which is what we always think about with legacy, but with stories and experiences and recipes, and it's just so wonderful. Your story is just beginning, RG, and we're so honored to have you on our stage.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here, and I hope I can help women go through what I've been through.
Yeah, yeah. I know that's what you're doing, and it's the work that you're doing. And I just want to encourage everyone to, connect with you and follow you and reach out to you and just go and have a conversation with this very, very special lady. And you can also read her story. I found the book. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's here somewhere. So I was one of the co-authors in our Women Thrive book, our last one. And you share credible story about your childhood and the things that you went through and all of these things that we go through, adversity, all the fear and the blocks and the grief, they all alchemize into something really magical. And we feel very grateful to be a part of that, Arjun.
Thank you.
So, can you remind us again where we can find you? Where can we find you on socials? Where can we find you on your website?
Oh my goodness. Well, if you just go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and just type in my name, not the doctor part, but 𝐸𝐸 that's where you'll find me. I'm on Pinterest. And then my website is herlifelegacy.com. And that's where you'll find this framework. We're in the process of setting it up and refining it. So that's where you can find me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, RG, for coming on and sharing your heart and starting. What a wonderful start to the summit today, to the showcase today.
Thank you.
Thank you, RG. Thank you so much. So So that was Dr. 𝐔𝐬𝐞𝐬. Please make sure that you go and follow her. You know, all of our speakers are so inspirational, and this is one of the things that I really love about our community, you know, the vulnerability. There's a real power in vulnerability, and that's what makes an incredible speaker. You can all go onto a stage and you can, perform and look good and say the right words. But actually, when you can make that heart to heart connection, then that's when you can really draw in an audience in a really powerful way. And that's why it's so important for us as women to share our stories so that we don't feel alone. So if you feel that you are in that gap that 𝐸 was speaking about, or you're going through grief yourself at the moment, we were talking a lot about that on our showcase actually this morning, then please know that there are people here to support you. You're not alone. You have a community here to support you. So we are going to move on to our next fabulous speaker. This morning on the showcase, I was talking about, I'm going to put a link just a little bit later on our showcase today with a link that you can go and you can join and you can come and watch the showcase. You can sign up for the showcase, for the summit. You can come and sign up and watch the summit in March next year. We've got tickets available now, so you can go and do that. And I was also talking about the fact that sometimes we have amazing women that come and join the summit and watch the summit and then decide that they want to come back and be a speaker themselves. And I was talking about Dr. Meg Gibson today, and here she is. So I would love to invite onto the stage Dr. Meg Gibson. She is a powerhouse leadership, development, and personal branding strategy with over 30 years of experience helping professional women move from invisible to unforgettable. As the founder and CEO of True Choices Consulting, she equips high-achieving women to rise with clarity, confidence, and presence, aligning their voice, their values, and their vision to create bold, authentic brands that command influence and inspire impact. Known for her transformational coaching and magnetic presence, Dr. Meg doesn't just teach leadership, she embodies it, empowering women to own the room, own their power, and lead unapologetically. Meg, welcome to the stage today. It's great to see you.
It's great to be here. After 𝐸's speech and crying, I'm trying to get the power in me. She touched my heart. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know, I guess it's our connection we have, because it's almost like my speech blends right into her speech. And I just think it's our connection we have in our relationships that we're building.
Oh,
So
I love that so much. Oh, I love that, Meg. Okay, big breath. We all need to take a big breath after that. Over to you, and I'll come back to have a little chat with you later.
Okay. I hope everyone's doing well today, feeling good about life. And what I want to do is just start with the question. And the question is, what are you still holding on to in your heart that's holding you back from your greatness? Think about that. For some of us, it's the word someone spoke that made us doubt our worth. For others, it's a mistake you carried, like a scarlet letter, or a story we've been told, afraid to tell. We tuck it away, we smile, we perform, we achieve. But deep down, that hidden thing, that unspoken truth, keeps whispering, you're not enough. I know that whisper well, because for years, I heard it too. And if I'm totally honest, I still hear it. So don't judge me. I grew up surrounded by love, ambition, and high expectations. My family believes in me and totally support everything I do. But even with all that love and support, there was still this quiet storm inside. A part of me that questioned if I was enough. My journey was not always polished or perfect because I carried wounds that no one could see. My trauma, my heartbreak, and the heavy weight of trying to prove myself worthy. I became an expert at showing up strong, even when I was breaking inside. I earned degrees, climbed ladders, won awards, all while carrying invisible baggage. Baggage that didn't even belong to me. Looked like my bag, but it wasn't mine, but I carried it. And then one day I realized something. I built a really impressive resume. The problem was I didn't build me. And that was a moment of truth that changed a lot for me because I discovered that true leadership, true presence, and true power does not come from what you do. They come from who you are when all the titles fall away. It wasn't just an overnight transformation. It was a journey of healing, of facing pain, forgiving myself, and letting go of the need to be perfect. I had to drive back and get back those bags that I had been carrying for so long that didn't belong to me. And inside those bags were other people's expectations, opinions, definitions of success, and what other people wanted me to be and do. And when I gave those bags back, is when I found my freedom. I found my voice, and that voice was strong, it was clear. Most importantly, it was unapologetic. It became the foundation of my personal brand. So for me, when I work with women, I teach them your personal brand is not your logo, it's not your title, it's not your LinkedIn headline. It's your essence. It's your story, your presence. So what tells people about you before you open your mouth? It's the energy you bring into a room, the alignment between your voice, your values, and your vision. Here's the truth. You can't fully step into your greatness while holding on to what broke you. The very story you're ashamed of what may be is the story that set someone else free. The thing you've been hiding in your heart, that pain, the past, that truth is the missing piece of your power. When you tell your story, you reclaim it. When you own your truth, you transform it. When you stand in your authenticity, you become magnetic, not because you're perfect, but because you're real. That's the essence of personal branding. Owning who you are, honoring what you've been through, and allowing it to fuel your purpose instead of your fear. See, your brand isn't built in the boardroom. It's forged in the fire of your becoming. It's not about being who the world expects you to be. It's about being who you were created to be. So I'll ask again, What are you still holding in your heart that's holding you back from your greatness? Today, I invite you to let it go, to release the weight, to embrace your truth, to own your story, every scar, every lesson, every victory, because that's where your power lives. When you show up as the fullest version of yourself, unfiltered, unhidden, and unafraid, that's when you truly command the room. They call me Dr. Meg, and my mission is simple: to help women find their voice, stand in their power, and lead with a kind of authenticity that changes everything. Because your story matters, and the world is waiting on the real you. And after listening to me today, may your life be forever changed. Thank you.
Dr. Meg, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You know, it's interesting to me as I'm looking at you and I see you, a very beautiful, intelligent, graceful woman who has the honors, who has the certificate, has the letters, you know, after her name. And sometimes we feel that we're the only ones that don't feel that we're good enough. And then we hear someone like you tell a story about a time when you felt like that. And that really gives an opening for further conversations and realizations. And it's really important to share things like that. So first of all, thank you so much for going there and telling your story in a really inspirational way. I wanted to ask you, because you were talking about like giving the bags back, right? The bags that they'd been given to you, they did not belong to you. In my head, I'm like, I just see you like giving those bags back and going, they're not mine. There you go. How did that feel when you gave those back?
It felt good. And I came up with that analogy, thinking about being at the airport and these bags are going around, and how you actually see a bag that looks like your bag, and you don't realize it's your bag until you get home and you open it up and the clothes inside that bag don't belong to you. So what do you do with it? It's not like you keep it. You drive back to the airport and take the bag back. And so why don't we do that when it comes to the mess we carry along with us that don't belong to us? So if we could just pack those things back up and give it back to the people who have it, it takes the weight off of us. We're actually holding on to what other people give us that don't belong to us. So pack the bags and take it back to the airport. Just, I don't care, dump them.
Just dump them, just put them away. Dump them back. Just wonderful, Dr. Meg. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Your heart, again, a very vulnerable share, and very inspirational. And it's like you said, I wrote down, there were a lot of things that I wrote down actually, but your brand isn't built in the boardroom. And oh my goodness, how true is that? You know, people buy your energy. They don't, they buy your energy. They buy you. They buy the way that you show up. And you are such a wonderful representation of that. So thank you so much, Dr. Meg, first of all, for joining us as a speaker, for, you know, being on the stage next year, for being on the stage today. And again, please could you share where we can find you? Where do you hang out on social media? What's your website?
I am on social media, Facebook, and Facebook, you can find me under Meg Gibson, Gibson, and on LinkedIn, you could find me under Meg Gibson again.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming and speaking and sharing. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Meg.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Dr. Meg. Please make sure that you go and follow her. Very inspirational lady. You'll hear me say this about all of our speakers. I'll just be like, she's very inspirational. She's very inspirational. We've got even more amazing speakers that are going to be coming up. And we are going to move very swiftly on to our next speaker, who, again, has been in our community for a little while. We absolutely love her, what she speaks about. She has just written a fantastic book, which I know that she will talk to you about. So I'm very excited to welcome onto the stage Brenda L. 𝐤𝐞𝐬, who is an award-winning author of Courageously Authentic and a leading voice in women's empowerment and unfiltered self-expression. You see the theme here? So good. Now, again, a woman who has got a lot with more than 30 years experience in HR, organizational development, and transformational coaching. Brenda helps women unearth the courage to share their stories, break through their limiting beliefs, and speak their truth. Her work challenges the old narratives, the inherited conditioning, and the silence that keeps women small, offering instead a path of healing and deep inner freedom. Brenda, welcome.
Thank you, Abigail. So good to be here.
You are a very busy lady today.
It's been a busy week.
So you're on another summit right at the moment.
I am, yeah.
Off.
So I'm just hopping off, hopping on here, and hopping back.
I love it, how it should be in your speaking element.
Yeah, exactly.
Brenda, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for jumping in and for sharing your wonderful zone of genius. We are very excited to hear you speak today. So over to you, and then I'll pop on afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Oh, hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about is breaking the cycle of body shame. And I know this is a very deep subject, and I could probably do a whole workshop on this, but this is how the universe works. This theme just keeps resurfacing. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, I thought, this is it. And I just want to raise some awareness. So body shame is a way that we as women pass down generational patterns, especially around body image and self-worth. So I want to start with a story, and I want you to try to put yourself in the story as if you're this little girl, Maya. So imagine you got invited to a birthday party, and there's a group of six-year-olds just around the table, and they've got, each one's got their princess dress on and their jewelry, and they just feel amazing. They feel beautiful. Well, there's one little girl, Maya, who is a little bit larger than the other girls. And she reaches over to the table and she grabs a cookie, you know, the kind with the rainbow sprinkles that kids love so much. And before she takes a bite, her mother's voice cuts through the chatter across the room and says, "Maya, that's enough, honey. You don't want to get chubbier than you already are, do you?" And the room grows silent. And of course, this sweet little girl freezes. Her smile disappears, and she's not worried about the cookie anymore. What she's worried about is that she's no longer beautiful. She's not that beautiful princess because she's chubby. And her mother just announced it to the whole room. In that instant, a seed of shame takes root. In that instant, something inside of her shifts. Hi, my name is Brenda 𝐤𝐞𝐬. I'm the award-winning author, Courageously Authentic, and I'm also a women's empowerment speaker devoted to helping women break free from these generational patterns of shame and self-criticism. For more than 3 decades, I've worked with women who carry these invisible scars that are often embedded in us by people that we love the most. And it starts early, just like Maya, just like her standing there at that birthday party. So the reason I share this story with you is because it was a friend of mine's daughter. And by the age of 10, Maya developed an eating disorder. Now she's in her 40s, and even though she's this beautiful, thin, well-fit woman, what she tells me is when she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see how beautiful she is. What she sees that little girl in the princess dress who was shamed for eating a cookie. She grew up watching her mother skip meals and say things like, "I can't wear this. It makes me look huge. I'm so fat. Nothing fits. I hate my body. I can't eat what I want because if I gain weight, your father won't be attracted to me anymore." Maya learned early on that her mother's worth and love were tied to perfection. And studies have shown that when mothers who express dissatisfaction with their bodies, they are far more likely to have daughters who struggle with body image. And over 53% of American girls as young as age 6 worry about being fat. Age 6. Little girls at age 6 should not be worried about being fat. They don't even understand what metabolism means. They should be kids and playing. So I raised this issue not to place blame on mothers. I raised the issue around awareness because this isn't a conversation about food. It's a conversation about programming. And that kind that convinces women that they have to conform to be accepted. They have to perform to be loved. Or they have to be perfect just to be enough. So here's our invitation for you today. Over the next 24 hours, I want you to really be mindful of what you're saying, the words you're thinking, the words you're saying out loud. What do you say when you look in the mirror? What do your children hear you say about your body, about their bodies? And when you catch yourself, I want you to pause and I want you to ask yourself, where did I learn that my worth was tied to how I look and from whom? Because those beliefs don't start with you. Those beliefs were handed down from generation to generation of women doing their best to fit someone else's definition of what it means to be enough. So right now, right here, you can change this. You have the power to change your story and teach your daughters to love and respect their bodies, to set healthy boundaries, to know that their worth isn't measured by social media or AI, and to be kind and compassionate with themselves. And there's 3 quick things you can do this week. Replace your criticism with curiosity. And what I mean by that is when you look in the mirror, instead of saying, oh my God, I look so tired, I look so fat, I'm just say, my body has carried me through so much, thank you. You feel the vibrational shift? Try reinforcement affirmations with your daughters. Speak words that build love and gratitude. My body is worthy and beautiful and sacred. Not, I hate my body. And the last one is create some rituals. Celebrate life, not weight. Exercise find something you and your daughter both love to do. Exercise together, cook together, laugh together. Let health mean harmony, not control or perfection. Because each time you choose love over criticism, you rewrite your story, not just for yourself, for the next generation that follows. So in closing, I invite you to visit my website. I use a signature 5-step transformation guide that I had created myself. And it starts with awakening and it starts with awareness and it ends with awakening. So please visit my website. I do give away a free chapter of my book called Who Owns Your Belief System? And the reason I give it away because it's so important to really explore your beliefs and find out whose beliefs are running your life. Thank you.
Brenda, thank you so much for
You're welcome.
sharing that. It's such an important subject, and you're right. You said at the beginning that sometimes it's a bit of a difficult subject to talk about. Actually, when we're speaking about our bodies, it's so personal. I completely agree with you that very often we can carry, generational trauma that is passed down from mothers, grandmothers, etc. when it comes to weight and body image. But I really love how you are sharing tools to change the narrative. And I really love that you were talking about gratitude, being really grateful. I'm so grateful for my body, for, carrying me to this age and, for being able to do the things that I can and wear the clothes that I can. And one of the things that I find, when it comes to showing up and being visible, because we're all here to take a stand for something, right? And very often I find that I speak to women and they're so concerned about what they look like. They don't want to speak on a stage, or they don't want to be in a magazine article. They don't even want their photograph taken. And to live your life in that state, I think there has to come a time where you go, just enough is enough. Like, I don't want to live like this anymore. Like, I want to feel positive and I want to feel content. And I really love the steps that you shared.
Thank you. I was at lunch the other day. I just want to share this quickly. And I overheard a mother and a daughter talking, and the mother actually ordered salads for both of them. The daughter says, "Mom, I don't want a salad. I just want a cheeseburger." And the mother says, "I looked up on AI, and according to AI, you are in the higher percentile of being overweight for your age." And my heart broke for that little girl. And this little girl, she's 16 years old. She was beautiful. She was no way overweight.
Yeah.
She was perfect. So I think it's really important that we're mindful of what we're saying in front of our kids about our bodies and what we're setting an expectation for the children.
Yeah, I do. And I truly believe it's a conversation that we need to have at all ages, you know, to be able to discuss things like this as women, you know, to be able to share how we're feeling and support one another. And yeah, it's like you say, you know, this self-judgment, we can be our own worst critics, right? So changing the narrative around that and mirror affirmations. I remember the first time I heard about mirror affirmations, and I couldn't even say the words, like they were stuck in my throat. Like it was like I couldn't even get it out. It's such a beautiful practice, and it's so transformational. So Brenda, I'm really glad that you decided to talk about this and you're taking a stand for it today.
Thank you.
So Brenda, again, please remind us where we can find you.
Sure. So you can find me on my website. It's BrendaHugo.com, and all my social medias are either Brenda Hugo or Hugo Brenda, but LinkedIn is Brenda Hugo. You just Google my name. I'm all over the place. So please connect with me. I've got some new tools coming out, and this is my book, Courageously Authentic. I encourage you to pick it up. If at the very least, take the free chapter and do the work. Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda. I love that phrase. Just Google me and you'll find me, right?
I'm all over.
Well done. Thank you, Brenda, and good luck with the other summit.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So that was a wonderful Brenda Hugo, who please go and connect with her, you know, connect in with all of our speakers. Let us know how you're doing in the chat. It's lovely to see the comments. It's lovely to see the support for our speakers. It means so much to all of us when we see your comments. We'd love to have your questions, your aha moments. What is coming up for you? What resonates with you when you are watching our wonderful speakers, and how are you going to connect in with them as well? So we are going to be moving on to our next speaker. I told you we've got some amazing speakers on our showcase today, and our next speaker is no exception. Her name is Tracy Noonan. She is a serial entrepreneur. She has run many businesses, one of her businesses accumulating in a multi-million-dollar acquisition after 6 appearances on Shark Tank. Tracy mentors startups and is a keynote speaker, a published author, and creator of television content. Her latest business endeavor is the Reinvention Project, a community where women 45 plus and older can safely work their way through life's unexpected highs and lows. Tracy, welcome to the stage. It's wonderful to see you here.
Oh, thank you, Abigail. Thank you so much. And thank you to you and Raimonda and all these other amazing women who resonate with everybody. I'm so honored to be in their presence and to be a part of this. It's truly very exciting and an honor.
Wonderful. Well, we're so excited that you're going to be speaking on our stage in March. We're so excited that you're going to be speaking now. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. So please take it away, and I will come back to you and speak to you after your talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And to the women who just went before me, I'm just, again, honored to be following you and listening to your stories and the things that have happened to you. And I can relate so well, and it's just amazing to be here. So I'd like to start with when I was a child growing up, the adults in my life would say to me, "You know what, Tracy, you should be seen but not heard." And I found that really curious. And even as a child, I questioned, seen but not heard, but why? And they would tell me that it's the way a proper young lady is raised. You need to be polite. But as I grew older, I realized what it really meant. It meant to be quiet, to not ask questions, to not make people uncomfortable, even if it was to the detriment of yourself. So when the men who wore collars and hid behind wooden crosses hurt me, the men who were supposed to be protective and teach me and help me learn, I stayed silent. I was 9 years old. You see, the Catholic Church taught me that silence was holy and that obedience was a virtue. Except it's not the case. Silence isn't holy when it hides abuse. And obedience is not a virtue when it protects the wrong people. At 9 years old, I didn't know what was happening to me, but I sure as hell knew that it was wrong. And so I stuffed everything deep inside me, and I wore this little smile that said, I'm okay, I'm fine. But in reality, I wasn't fine. And this pattern, this cycle of silence, it followed me into my adulthood. I can remember working at my kitchen table, working on my business, still questioning myself. Am I really able to lead? Am I really worthy of this? And when my husband joined the company, all the decisions, the voice of the company, they were all his, and I allowed it because I still believed what I learned as a little girl, that a man's voice carries more weight than mine. Look, I was a high school graduate. I don't have an MBA. I'm just this uneducated nobody, right? At least that's what my world was telling me. It was what I was believing. But I was wrong. I was really wrong. You see, I was somebody. I always was. But it took me decades to figure out that something that's even smaller than a woman's voice is the box that society tries to keep her in. And I've decided I'm not living there anymore. Even still to this day, people try to silence me. They try to silence my voice. A brother of mine called me 3 weeks ago, and he said to me, I want you to stop talking about my family. He told me. He didn't ask me. His family, our parents, the very people whose decisions and choices and silence created this. That phone call reaffirmed for me and confirmed for me that this story isn't just my story. It's generations of women's story, women who were told, you can be seen but not heard because you don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Well, I'm sick and tired of living my life in such a way that I have to protect other people. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just not. Today, I get to speak. Today, I have a voice, and I'm speaking for that little girl who remained quiet. And I'm speaking for the woman whose entire business dismissed her. And I'm speaking for the sister and the daughter and the survivor who now refuse to carry that shame that I didn't fucking ask for and I didn't deserve. And I want all of you out there to know silence comes with a cost. Silence costs more than your voice. And women who remain silent, bad things happen to them. And I'm not talking physically bad things. I'm talking emotionally bad things happen to them. So for all of you who have been told you're too loud, you're too different, you're too disruptive, you're too emotional, hear me right now. You need no one's permission to speak. You need the courage and the confidence to say what's on your mind. You need to use. You need to use your unique voice. And if at this point in your life you can't do that, you just can't, then you come find me and I will speak for you. Because seen but not heard, that ends now. Seen but not heard, no more. Thank you.
Tracy, thank you for your courage. There's a deep conditioning that we often carry as women that you have really highlighted there, that's installed into us as we're children. You know, the narrative of sit down, be quiet, don't speak unless you're spoken to, you know, be seen but not heard. And it can show up in our adult life, you know, through everything that we do. You know, I look at everything that you've created. I mean, you know, if you read your CV and everything that you've created, you know, on paper, it's so successful. But actually, this trauma that can be carried through into our adult life, you know, where we still feel very disempowered. And I commend you in a number of ways. First of all, I commend you for your bravery and your courage in speaking out. In your bravery and your courage in speaking out on this stage, and also for the healing that you are creating for yourself and others through sharing your voice. So bravo, big applause, big hugs to you. And we're just so proud to see you speaking your truth and helping others to do that.
Thank you.
How's that feel, being able to share in that way, Tracy?
Oh, I feel finally at 63 years old, I'm okay with saying what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and not worrying about what everyone else is going to think or say or be upset with. I've lost family members over things I've said on podcasts and at speaking engagements because they don't want me to tell the truth or talk about it because they're afraid to cast a negative light on them, and that's not their shit. I can't worry about what they're doing. I have myself to take care of, and I have myself to be honest to. And if I can help even just one person by sharing a story that might be uncomfortable for a family member, all day long, I'm helping that person because I know what it feels like to not be able to speak and to not have a voice and to not stick up for yourself.
Thank you, Tracy, and congratulations on everything that you're doing. Congratulations on, you know, becoming a speaker on the Women Thrive Summit, and then starting this wonderful community, the Reinvention Project. So let us know, where can we find you on social media? Where can we find you to connect with you, to follow you?
You can find me on Instagram. Don't call me Cupcake, all _. I'm on Facebook, Tracy Wheeler. You can find me on LinkedIn, Tracy Wheeler Noonan. I have an author's website. It's tracywheelernoonan.com, and an online course, thecupcakeanalogy.com.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for coming on and speaking your truth today.
Thank you.
Okay, whew. We are nearly halfway through our showcase. We have lots of speakers left to share with you. And again, we'd love to know from you in your comments, you know, what your thoughts, what are your aha moments, what has resonated with you. Our speakers are coming on and they are really sharing some truths today, and it's good for us to do this, right? It's important for us to be able to share so that we can inspire others to do the same. Now, this is a very inspirational woman that I'm going to introduce you to now. Her name is Dana S. Diaz. She is a fierce and fearless advocate for women who have felt trapped in lives that don't feel like their own. Known as the Power Shifter, Dana has been featured on nearly 300 podcasts worldwide and speaks on stages and in summits to show women that they have the power to change their lives by changing their minds. Welcome, Dana.
Well, hi there. It's good to see you, and thank you for another showcase. I'm very excited about this, and I'm just in awe. I had to actually take a breath here before coming on because it's just every speaker, just something resonates in each of their stories, and they're so powerful. So I hope that everybody is tuning in and really thinking about all these different aspects of who they are, because we are so many layers as individual people, and it's not just at face value. There's so much depth to us and to this life experience. So it's great to be here. Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you here, and I love to hear you speak. I know that you're also going to bring the fire to the event today.
Yeah. I try to be a little intense, right? We gotta create impact, and it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so it's actually quite appropriate that I am following the lovely Tracy, because we have had very similar experiences. So,
over to you, Dana.
Thank you so much. 1 in 3 women endure abuse by a current or a former intimate partner. And what's worse is that 1 woman dies every 10 minutes globally as a result. My name is Dana S. Diaz, and I was almost one of those women. I was 19 years old when I met my first husband. He was aloof, confident in a way that felt more arrogant than appealing, just like my stepfather. And having recently left my childhood home where I had been physically and verbally abused and told no one would ever want or love me, especially if I wasn't skinny, I was desperate for any crumb of attention or affection. So when this aloof and arrogant young man invited me to his apartment to watch a movie one late December night, I eagerly accepted. We were sitting on his black leather sofa watching Tombstone on his TV when he suddenly spit his beer all over me on purpose. Then he helped himself to my body. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't even like this guy. But I didn't stop him because I honestly believed that he might be the only person who would ever want me. And even if it was just for my body, I was okay with that. But that initial meeting and consummation of his control over me led to 25 years of servitude, wherein I tolerated and even excused the various abuses to bad moods and bad days, and sometimes a deficiency in myself. And why wouldn't I? That's what my mother had done, because that's what kept the peace. In fact, my mother had often told me that my stepfather wouldn't treat me so badly if he didn't care so much about me. So despite my unease, I thought this must be love too. But what began as insults and intimidation grew into holes punched in walls. Doors were slammed so hard they came off their hinges. Household objects became weapons used to threaten me into submission. Then there was financial control, legal threats to take my son away from me, and ultimately a plan to end my life, even after the divorce. So for anyone who thinks domestic violence does not apply to them, let me say this one more time for the people in the back. 1 in 3 women globally are abused by a current or former intimate partner, and 1 woman dies every 10 minutes as a result. If you are not that 1 woman, you know somebody who is. A mother, a daughter, a niece, a friend, a coworker, a neighbor, an aunt. You also know the children of these women, 1 in 15 of which are exposed to the abuse, and 90% of whom witness violence firsthand. And if you still don't think this affects your world, here's one more little tidbit. Domestic violence and abuse are the leading cause of injury among women ages 15 to 44. And more than $8 billion a year are spent on medical services because of abuse and domestic violence alone in the US as a result. And these tragedies are not just unacceptable, they are preventable. So here's what we're going to do. The 3 R's: recognize, respond, refer. First, you're going to recognize the signs. It's the woman who avoids eye contact, who wears long sleeves or turtlenecks in the summer, who lowers her head when her partner speaks. Respond if you can, privately and safely. Let her know you see her, because sometimes that single moment of being seen is enough to spark hope, because it validates what she's already sensing to be wrong. And finally, refer. There are local and national hotlines that can help without leaving a digital trail. Keep those numbers in your phone and share them discreetly when it's possible. Because awareness can save lives, but the action is what's going to change them. So see what others ignore, speak up when silence feels safer, and believe her story before it's too late. Because I am living proof that a woman can rise from the ashes, but I shouldn't have had to, and no woman should. So for more information and resources you can share, you can check out the blog section of my website, danasdiaz.com, where you can also find links to my socials and information about my memoir trilogy. If you enter your email address, you can get the first 2 chapters of my memoir, Gasping for Air, downloaded for free. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dana. I love physically witnessing the pure manifestation of your transformation in your voice when you're speaking about this, because there has been a lot of trauma that you've been through, and I love now that you are advocating for yourself, for these women, and it's like, come on, this is what we're going to do, because that is the attitude that we need. Come on, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do as women. I mean, that's crazy. I've never heard those stats. I didn't know that those stats were so high. 1/3 of women are abused, and 1 woman dies every 10 minutes.
And think of this, Abby, forgive me for interrupting, but how many women are not speaking up? That's just what we know. But how, I bet that's probably a higher statistic because of all the women that are silenced.
So law of averages, you're right. We'll know someone that's happening to.
Absolutely.
And no more. Come on, let's get together. Let's all the things that you've just said, notice it. And I really love those steps, because I think sometimes, people feel really helpless. Like, well, what can I do? How can I help? Like, what difference am I going to make? And you're saying, like, the first step in there is just recognizing it, being with that woman, like showing her that you see her and that you can support her and she's not alone. Because I mean, I can imagine that it must be just, such a terrifying situation to be in, with the emotional manipulation as well as potential physical abuse, all of these things. It must feel very, very isolating. And I would think that the abuser would also make you feel isolated, right? By
absolutely,
from everyone. So recognition is key.
Absolutely. I'll never forget the first time. And sadly, it was 25 years into the 25-year relationship, when it was just an elderly woman at church. She noticed that I looked like I was praying. I had my head down because I was crying. I didn't want to go home after Mass. I just didn't want to go home. And she just squeezed my shoulder as she passed me. And I will never forget that moment, because somebody saw me. And, I was just telling this story earlier today, if I may have another moment. At one point I had a black eye, and it was a black eye. It was pretty noticeable. For 3 weeks, from the time it was there to the time it got purplish, then greenish and yellowish and went away, I had attended family gatherings. I went to work. I went to the bank. I went to the grocery store. Not one person, not one, not even any of my own family, including my mother, my siblings, my aunts, my cousins, not one person asked me how I got that black eye or if I was okay. Not one. Not one. And that makes me really, really sad. So please, anybody who's listening, err on the side of caution. Err on the side of caution. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe it is just an accident and somebody walked into a door. Maybe. But what if that's not the truth? We have to be more aware and speak up for those who are not speaking up for themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Who cares if you get it wrong?
Exactly.
I would rather state and ask the question and get it wrong than ignore someone who's going through that. So
100%.
Just brilliant. Thank you for just bringing that to our attention and sharing steps that we can do. You know, we're a sisterhood. We need to support one another and look out for one another. Dana, again, please let us know where we can find you.
Absolutely. DanaSDiaz.com. I do hang out mostly on Instagram and on TikTok. But I'm in every social. I'm sure I'm in places I don't even know I am, but I'm all out there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dana.
Thank you.
And for acknowledging that actually this month. I didn't realize that this month signified that. So thank you for sharing that with us as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Abby.
Thank you, Dana. Okay, so if you are inspired, impacted, triggered, dare I say, by some of the subjects that we're talking about today, then good, because it means that you are committed to learning more about yourself, developing yourself, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your business, your self-esteem, your value, your brand. Like we've been speaking about body image, we've been speaking about so many things today, and the conversation is still continuing. We have some more amazing speakers that are coming our way just in a few minutes. But if you are inspired by this and you want to come and watch these women in action, remember they're just speaking for 5 minutes. Imagine what's going to happen when you come along and you actually spend some more time with them on the Women Thrive Summit, which is going to be taking place March 16th to the 20th, 2026. It is a 5-day live event. These wonderful, wonderful speakers, all 50 of them, we can't showcase everyone today, but all 50 of our wonderful speakers are going to be speaking at that event, and you can come and you can hang out with them for the week. So what we would love for you to do is click the link that I've just put in the comments now, and that's going to take you over to the Women Thrive Summit website. So it's womenthrivesummit.com. You can just go ahead and click the link, and that will take you to a landing page where you can see the beautiful Ramonda. And to the left hand side of Ramonda's picture there is a big orange button. You can't miss it, and it says on there, save your seat. If you press on there, you can then go and you can join and you can save your seat for the Women Thrive 2026 Summit. And listen, if these talks that we've had so far today and that you'll continue to watch for the second half of our showcase, if these talks are a reflection of anything that is going to be going on in the summit next year, then you are in for a fantastic event and a fantastic ride and a very, very inspirational action-taking event. So we encourage you, we invite you to come along and join us to support our speakers and for you to learn and develop and be inspired and make some really amazing connections as well. We would love to see you there, so please go ahead and do that. Those seats are live now, and it is completely free of charge as well to join us on the summit. Okay, so who is ready for our next speakers? I want to know in the comments if you're still with us, what your learns are, what your big aha moments are. If you have any questions for our speakers that are coming on today, what has really impacted you today? What are the subjects that you want to hear more about? And please go ahead and connect in with our speakers. Okay, we carry on this amazing showcase, and I am very excited to introduce you to our next speaker. Her name is Dawn Gates. She is a transformational coach dedicated to helping women pivot towards their passion and purpose. She equips women with the mindset, the tools, and the courage they need to lead with purpose, power, and authenticity. Dawn, welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored and excited to be here amongst an amazing group of women. And these speakers and these topics are so touching and so valuable. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Dawn, it's so wonderful to see you. It really is. Please take it away and I will be back to have a little chat afterwards.
Change is hard. Sometimes it's expected, and sometimes it catches us completely off guard. Sometimes it takes us in the direction we've been dreaming of, and sometimes it pulls us towards something we never wanted. But one thing is certain, change is inevitable. And what makes that change so challenging isn't always the change itself. It's the fear that comes with it. Fear of the unknown, fear of what we might lose, and maybe the deepest one of all, fear that we are not enough to handle what's next. But here's what I've learned. With every change comes the chance to discover a new dimension of your own strength. I'm Dawn Gates. I'm a pivot to passion transformational coach, a retired Army veteran, and a survivor of life's unexpected turns. I want to share with you one of my stories about fear. During my first combat deployment, my unit was preparing to move from our way station down into the combat zone. And I was scared. I was so scared. I didn't know what was waiting for us on the other side or if I had what it took to meet the challenges ahead. During the plane ride, everything was dark and loud. We couldn't see outside. We couldn't tell what was happening. My mind was racing with every what if imaginable. When we finally landed, I looked around, trying to take in where we were. And to my surprise, it looked exactly like the place where we just left. That's because it was the place that we just left. The conditions ahead had been so dangerous that the plane had to turn around mid-flight. I didn't realize it in that moment, but that night gave me a gift. It gave me a dress rehearsal for fear. I had already felt the anxiety, the uncertainty, the heart-pounding unknown. And when we actually took that flight again, I wasn't paralyzed anymore. I was curious. I was ready because I'd already faced that fear once and I had survived it. That's when I learned something powerful about myself and about everything. Change and courage don't come from the absence of fear. They come from acting in spite of it, from learning to channel it. So here's my challenge to you. You can let fear keep you standing still, safe, but stuck. Or you can let that fear fuel your growth and see what's waiting for you on the other side. I'll bet you'll figure out that you're stronger than you ever thought imaginable. I'm Dawn Gates, and I help women meet the challenge of change by pivoting to passion so they can turn their fear into fuel and courage into action. Thank you.
Wow, Dawn. Thank you for sharing. When I was listening to you, like I had a real physical, like fear reaction to what you were talking about there, because for me, I can't even imagine how terrifying that must be for you. I know that you were trained, I'm sure that you were prepared, but I mean, how can you be prepared really for a situation like that? How does that feel now when you're reflecting back and, you're looking at all the things that you met? Like, there must have been so many situations like that you went through. What did that really teach you about fear?
One, that it's always with you. There's no getting around it, right? And also I have to take inventory and stock of all those experiences, because it really showed me how strong I actually am, that I survived those moments. And yes, we do train for situations and we train for scenarios, but you can never prepare yourself for that moment when it actually happens. That dress rehearsal time, that moment, that wasn't a training, that was what I was feeling in the moment. And on the other side of that, at the end of that time, I just felt so much stronger and empowered. And that's what I take away from that fear is part of your life. It's part of your DNA. It's part of everything. It is not something that you have to let paralyze you. You can actually use it to your advantage.
I love that you're talking about that you can transform that fear into a gift, some like turning the darkness into the light. We were talking about that quite a lot actually on our showcase this morning, about, the challenges, the fears, the limiting beliefs that so often can stop us from moving forward and really, for us to do the things that we really want to do. That fear can often hold us back so much from, and then of course that then goes to regret and bitterness and frustration, because obviously you can't do the things that you do. How do you, what is the way that you work with your clients, and bringing all of that experience from your previous experiences now into your work?
So one of the first things that I do is I help my clients transform the way that they think about fear. Like, as I mentioned before, you're never going to be rid of it. It runs through your veins no matter what the situation is. You could be afraid to get up in the morning. You could be afraid of walking across the street. But I help them understand that knowing that it's always going to be with you means that you can figure out how to use it as a tool versus letting it hold you back. If you recognize that no matter what you do, you're going to be afraid, you're going to have that fear, it can help kind of eliminate some of that darkness around, what you're about to do next. Sure, you'll be afraid, but would you rather be afraid on this side and knowing what you know already and the things and the situation that you're currently sitting in? Or would you rather be afraid because you've tried this new thing, you've taken this new step, and you now have to navigate, what am I going to do next? Like, fear, we always have a negative connotation about it, but it can actually be a superpower as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So instead of trying to avoid it and seeing it as the negative, it's like, what is the opportunity now? And, we all know that the opposite of fear is love. And when you can lead with love, when you can be in leadership with love, then that's the most incredible place to be as a leader, because then you're in service to others. You stop thinking about yourself so much and your own fear, and then you can step into that love so that you're able to help others. And I just see you demonstrate that so beautifully, Dawn.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and speaking to us today, and really sharing that, personal experience and the lessons that it brought to you. Again, please, can you share with us where we can find you online?
Certainly. You can find me at dawnbgates.com. And I'm also on my socials at the Dawn B. Gates on Instagram and Dawn Gates on Facebook.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Dawn. Always a pleasure to have you on our stage, and we're really looking forward to having you speak as well on the summit next year.
Thank you so much. So glad to be a part of it.
Oh my goodness, the subjects that our speakers are speaking about today, honestly, I'd really love to know in the comments, actually, the times in your life where you have felt fear, or maybe even just if you want to kind of contemplate this on your own, actually, at the moment, when are the times in your life that you felt fear? Maybe you're feeling that now. And like Dawn just talked about, where can you see that you can use this to create an opportunity in your life, not to run away from that fear, but to stand in the fire, to really stand in it, and to use that to transform into something really powerful that you can then use to be in service and to help others. It's something for us all to consider, and it's certainly something that I'm definitely going to reflect on today. So thank you so much, Dawn, for sharing that with us today. So we are going to be moving on to our next speaker. I am very, very excited to welcome her onto the stage. Her name is Jennifer D. McLean, and she is a certified life and leadership coach and founder of Mission Inspire. With over 2 decades of experience in non-profit leadership and organizational development, she equips women and mission-driven professionals to lead with clarity and confidence. Her work centers on growth, resilience, and impactful value-based leadership. Jennifer, welcome to the stage today.
Hi, Abigail. I'm glad to be here today.
Oh, it's just wonderful to see you. It really is. Thank you so much for coming and speaking on the stage today.
I am grateful to be here and speak with you all today. I'm always happy to share with the women in the Women Thrive community.
Wonderful. Well, take it away, and I will come back on after, and we can have a little chat.
All right. Have you ever reached a point where you thought, wait, wasn't this supposed to feel easier by now? You took the leap, you started the business, launched the program, said yes to the opportunity. And for a while, the excitement carried you. But then momentum slows, clarity fades, and suddenly courage feels heavier than it used to. I know that feeling well. I'm Jennifer D. McLean, social impact leader, life and leadership coach, and founder of Mission Inspire. And if I'm being honest, this year has been challenging in my entrepreneurial journey. When I launched my business 4 years ago, I was so full of hope and vision. I had the plan, the purpose, the passion. I believed that if I just showed up, did the work, and served with excellence, the results would follow. But this year, I've only had 1 contract and 1 one-on-one client. I've connected to supportive communities. I invest in programs. I stay in rooms where growth happens, but still, I feel stuck. And there are days when that truth feels heavy, when the question shifts from, can I do this, to can I keep doing this? That's when I've had to remind myself, the same courage that helped me start is the courage I need now, just expressed differently. It's no longer the leap, it's the staying power to keep showing up when no one's clapping yet. It's the courage to believe the vision still matters, even when progress is slow. We don't talk about this part enough, that in between, that quiet space between launching and thriving, between momentum and mastery. It's uncomfortable and uncertain, often underestimated, but it's where real growth happens. At first, Courage is adrenaline. It's the spark. But over time, courage becomes discipline. It becomes showing up to the work even when motivation runs out. It becomes trusting your process when the results don't match your effort. I'm going to share what I'm learning. The first step takes courage, but every next step requires intention. Progress isn't always visible, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. And confidence is built when we keep going anyway. This year has reminded me that courage is not just a starting energy, it's a sustaining one. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about not giving up when things don't go as planned. So maybe you're in that in-between space too, where the excitement has faded and the outcome isn't clear. If that's you, I want you to hear this. You're not behind, you're becoming. Take a moment and think, what might it look like to stay committed to your calling, even when the results are slow? What's one intentional step you can take this week, not to chase perfection, but to keep faith in your process? Because every step forward, even the quiet, unseen ones, are acts of courage too. The truth is, anyone can be brave once, but sustaining courage, showing up again and again through uncertainty, through doubt, through silence, that's where transformation happens. So if the excitement has faded, don't lose heart. The spark that got you started is still within you. You haven't lost it. You're just learning to carry it differently now. Courage got you here. Commitment will take you further. And confidence is being built in every brave, intentional step you take. If this message resonated with you, you can find me at flourishingfiercely.com, where I share stories and tools to help women lead with courage, confidence, and grace. Remember this, even in the quiet seasons, your story is still speaking. Your courage, steady, imperfect, evolving, is what keeps the light on for someone else who's still deciding to begin. Keep showing up and believing in the vision that called you here, because you're not just sustaining courage, you're shaping what's possible for others too. Thank you for showing up, for listening, and for continuing.
Jennifer, thank you for sharing. You know, it's really refreshing to hear you speak, because I think very often it can be so easy to come on and, you know, kind of skip over the hard bits of business. And like you're talking about that in-between stage, you know, from launching to thriving. And especially when you're going through it yourself, I really, really honor and commend your reflections on you and the stage in your business, because I think it's important to know that and for you to stand in that. And also I felt like you were coaching yourself through that as well, which is just brilliant. So you were coaching us through it, you were coaching yourself through it. And, you know, I find that very often as we are kind of like taking longer and longer, you know, spending longer periods of time within our business, it doesn't just happen once. You know, we go through these seasons where, you know, things are kind of showing up and we've got lots of clients and lots of things are happening. And then it's kind of like you can very often take this big leap into the next kind of stage and dimension in your business. And very often there can be a lull, right, before you then go on to the next stage. So it's just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful what you've been sharing. You were talking there about tenacity. You know, I always talk about standing in the fire. What is it, like the faith that you have? What is it that is helping you to like stay here and trust the process? What is it that's holding that for you?
Obviously the first thing you said, faith that, you know, God brought me here and God will see me through it. And that, you know, to know that I'm really walking in my purpose. And then being a part of those communities is so important as an entrepreneur. You know, it's great. Family and friends are great, but being with other entrepreneurs that are in the thick of it, or they've gotten past the stage that you've gotten past. So having them tell you their stories. So the communities that I'm a part of, including this one, have been very helpful for my journey. Because I'm like, I told a group of my friends, I was like, I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm done with this. It's like, what are you talking about? You can't. I was like, I don't think I could do this. And they was like, no, what is wrong with you? You could do this. Absolutely. So having people in your corner to push you when things get rocky and rough and you get down on yourself is so important.
Yeah, I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that don't let you get away with comments like that, right? You know, that don't go, oh yeah, okay, you know, and very often it's really other entrepreneurs that understand, you know, what that journey is. So it's good that you have those communities. And, you know, I always talk about, like, in community, it's really important to surround yourself with people that are at the stage that you're at, that really understand that, but also people that are a little bit further ahead as well, that are able to kind of turn around and not only give you actionable advice and strategy and support, but really understand what that feels like and are able to hold that space for you. Because you can be told things, but sometimes the learning is in experiencing it as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, don't get me wrong, my family is very supportive. My sister, you know, I'm always like, oh, this sucks. She's like, well, suck it up and keep going. And, you know, I invited my aunts to listen to me today. I hope they're online. Hi, Nana. Hi, Auntie Judy. So family is great as well.
Okay. Nana and Auntie Judy, please say hello in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We've got a comment here. Fear moves into courage when you show up. Stay on the path, sis. It's coming. Yeah, absolutely. I just want you to know that you have a really supportive community here. You know this, right? We're holding a space for you. We're here for you. I'm sure that everyone can really recognize what you're speaking about. I certainly can. You know, there's been stages in my business where I've been on my knees and I just did not know where the next paycheck was coming from, where the next client was coming from, you know. And it's that time where really, you know, when you're about to throw in the towel, something incredible happens. Right. So having that faith in yourself, that faith, and you have that faith as well. You're a woman of faith. It's so wonderful that you have that. We are just so happy that you're in our community and you show it the way that you do, Jennifer. We really are. And we're really looking forward to hearing your talk as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the talk that you're going to give on the summit next year?
So I was listening earlier and I heard you ask someone this and I was like, oh, I need to have mine together. And the topic is from perfectionism to progress, because I've suffered with being a perfectionist and not even doing something because it's not perfect. And so just moving past that to think about progress is important. And so that's what my talk will be about.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. Your Nana's just commented. I've put her on the screen. She said, Jenny, I'm here and you did a wonderful job, Nana. Oh my goodness, Nana, we love you. How amazing is it to be supported by family and friends and community like that? It's just wonderful. It's what we're here for. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming and sharing your heart and your vulnerability, and, you know, really highlighting really part of the stage in entrepreneurial journey and life that can often feel really challenging, but really standing in your leadership. We really, really appreciate you coming on here. Again, please let us know where we can find you. Where do we find you on socials? What's your website, etc.?
Socials is LinkedIn, Jennifer D. McClain. I literally just opened my Instagram, so I'm hoping to increase my viewership there. And you can find me, search for Mission Inspire with an E on Instagram. And then my blog, flourishingfiercely.com.
Amazing. I am looking for you as we are speaking. on, I've got you here. There we go. Right, I've just followed you. I've got you. There she is. Follow her, please. Follow her.
Thank you. Thank you. Please follow me.
She needs more followers.
And now I need to post. So the next thing is now I need to post.
No,
so,
you need to post. Well, of course, every time that you come and speak on the showcase, so we create a lovely reel for you, so you can put some of your very inspirational talks on there. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming on today and really standing in your leadership, standing for yourself and standing for others.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, we hope that you are inspired by our speakers today. Jennifer is just one of our wonderful speakers who is going to be speaking at our summit. In 2026, we are going to be going live for a whole 5 days. Myself and Ramonda, who is the founder of Women Thrive, will be co-hosting the summit. I'm sure that we will bring on some special guest hosts as well. We are very, very excited. It's our favorite time of year. So if you would like to come and watch some of our inspirational speakers, you've had a little snapshot of them now, and you want to come and watch them live on the summit next year, we are going to be going live. I always forget the date, so I always have to write it down. I've got menopause brain and I can never remember things. So March 16th to the 20th, we are going to be going live. I have put a link in the comments underneath Nana's comment, and that link is going to take you through to the Women Thrive Summit website, where you will see a big orange button on the left hand side of Ramonda's beautiful picture, and if you click on that, you will be able to sign up and join the summit so you can save your seat. It's completely free of charge. There's some other little goodie things that you can do if you want to upgrade, but if you just want to come and watch the summit, then you can come and watch that completely free of charge in March. We would love to have you there. And as Jennifer was talking about, it's really, really important for us to have community, to have a supportive community of people around us. And I just love that Jennifer was talking about her family and her nana and her mum and, all the wonderful people that are there supporting her. But always know that you can always go and find another extended family, a family of people that are here to support you and can really hold that space for you as you're growing in your business and your life. And we were talking about this actually on this morning's showcase. So Tina was on co-hosting with me, who is our Women Thrive editor. She edits our wonderful Women Thrive magazine. I was talking about it at the beginning of the summit, beginning of the showcase, but I'm continuing to talk about it now because our magazine is so wonderful. We have our magazine that comes out every single month, and you will find inspirational stories of women in business, in life, in leadership. And, a lot of the stories that our women share is about the power of community. So it's really, really important as we are on our entrepreneurial journey and, our journey in our career and our journey in life, to really be able to reach out and find a community. And so we hope that you're inspired by our magazine. You can go on to womenthrivemagazine.com. and you can go and look at the online version. You can always order your copies of the magazine as well, so you have them in person, like I do every single month. I get very excited when I know that the magazine is on the way and I'm going to be able to see our wonderful cover. And also, another great community for you to come and join is the Women Thrive community. I want to remind you, actually, everyone that's watching, if you would like to connect in with our speakers and many of the women within the Women Thrive community, so whether they're authors, whether they're speakers, whether they're magazine contributors, whether they've been on our podcast, or whether they are our followers on social media, or, our subscribers to our email list, if you receive our newsletter every week, please remember that you are invited to every month our networking event. So we have a networking event every single month. It takes place the first Thursday of each month. And it's a wonderful opportunity for you to come in and share and connect and meet other women who are here to support you. And you never know. I was speaking to someone the other day. I was interviewing her actually for a spot as a speaker on the summit. And she said that she'd met someone on the last networking event, and they were looking at creating things together, which is just absolutely amazing. So make sure that you sign up. If you go over to our website, you'll be able to join our newsletter. Make sure that you are receiving our newsletter, that you're receiving our emails, and the day before, so it's always the first Thursday of the month, the day before you will get a reminder on email with the link, and you'll be able to go and join. And there is a link actually that you can do that online now. So I'm going to find that when we are listening to our next speaker. So I'll be able to share that so you can come and join the community, join in the conversation. It'll be wonderful to have you here. Okay, we have got 2 more amazing speakers for you today. I can't wait to introduce them to you. Our first speaker, her name is Marla Sachs. She is such a creative person. She's a painter, she's an author, she's a yogic guide whose creative process is deeply rooted in contemplative and meditative practice. Marla, let me just read this again because I want to do your introduction justice, and sometimes I can't get my words out and I find certain words really difficult, and these 2 words I find really difficult. So let me see if I can say it in a different way. Marla Sachs, she is a painter, an author. She's a yogic guide, and she leads her clients through this wonderful creative process rooted in contemplation and meditation. That is part of her practice. Her Radiance Reset programs reflect a lifetime of internal visioning and emotional release work. Marla opens dimensional doorways that invite women to slow down, feel deeply, awaken to unseen forces, and to reignite their spark through life's ebbs and flows. Marla, welcome to the stage today. It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here, Abigail, and to be in the space and in the room on the stage with the Women Thrive community.
Well, we are very, very excited to hear what you have to say. So please take it away, and I'll be back after your talk.
Absolutely. Taking a deep breath. I used to say that to my children, but I really didn't know what it meant. Take a deep breath. How does it feel if your mind is swirling and the thoughts just keep spiraling and your body feels tight or congested? Well, that was me. I'm Marla Sachs, a Radiance Reset mentor. But there was a time where the busy-minded mom and the busy-minded woman and the busy-minded child at some time or another was thinking, am I good enough? Where do I fit in? Taking it back to that day when I walked into the doctor's office. My mom and I went, and I thought I would get an examination for a spot and to have this cream make it go away. I am talking about the self-esteem from those younger days. And as a mentor now who guides women to feel brighter and better, even in those darker times, I also love to talk to that young person, that young child, that young woman, daughter that they're going to evolve into, and remind them, you are bountiful, blissful, super radiant, and powerful and strong. But I didn't have that voice back then. And so as I went in and the doctor asked what kind of stressors were going on in my life, I wondered, what did he mean? I really didn't know what stress was. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a part of the group, and I really admired my friends and would do anything for them. In those days, I would do most for my friends, and in a way, family came a little bit second. As life moved on, I realized that there is a room to grow with this and how important and valuable family is. I think my parents were busy. They were taking care of my brother. He was very much a handful. So yeah, I actually got in my own trouble and did my own thing, but was just trying to fit in. And there the doctor said, you have a life-altering disease. It will not be something that you will have, some incidents of major medical issues, except it will affect your thyroid. And so these words, stress and thyroid, I was concerned. Who was I? But then I let it go and kind of let it immerse inside of me. And then there was a time I went to the doctor's office where my mom and I would travel to Yale University. And on Mondays, it was set aside for women and for anyone with vitiligo. So vitiligo is a condition where your pigmentation starts to disappear. So that spot on my back moved into my arms and onto my legs and onto my stomach. And as life went on, it just kept expanding on my body. And I would go into that office and I would see people with like darker skin. And I would think to myself, wow, I'm lucky, because even though in those days I had a little bit more of a color tone, I was not as dark skinned. And so I thought, wow, that must be really difficult. And so I really had compassion early on as a young girl, just in general, for family, concerns of friends. And in that doctor's office, that's when I really thought to myself, wow, I guess mine is better. It's better to be in my position. But that didn't make that low self-esteem go away. And it wasn't until I went into my yoga teacher training and where I really ended up using mantra and meditation and music and movement, and I started to tap into my intuition. So this kind of the losing pigmentation stayed with me my whole life. And as a mom, one day I was out on this little lake with a friend and her daughter, and we were, I just took my little cover up off, and the daughter, she shrieked. She was so nervous. She saw my skin, my discoloration on my legs, and she kind of backed up. And once I didn't know what to do, but the mom said, oh, it's okay. I'm not contagious, because the girl was so fearful of me. I didn't know if how I could proceed, because now here I am, a mom, and I'm trying to live my life. And now this child is afraid of me. But again, it reminded me that in life, we can't back away when things are uncomfortable. And so showing up, ending up to feel lighter and brighter, to love myself from the inside out, to ignite that fire within. And as I evolved and just started sitting in meditation and sharing my feelings and really finding ways to express myself, I had no idea that there was this artist inside of me. And I started painting and I started writing. And so this is a reminder that sometimes our spot, that little spot on my back, can turn into your spotlight. My name is Marla Sachs, and I offer radiance resets. And I like to just do them as mini moment pauses where you can take a deep breath in and consider this, inhaling in 3 strikes. Inhale, and then exhale. And you could do that 3 times or for 3 minutes. And these little resets can bring you to the present moment where you notice life is pretty magical. It's beautiful. There's a lot of secret sauce in the way I like to work with all of these invitations to invite yourself in, to shine brighter. And from my heart space to yours, I welcome you into the radiance movement, how we can reignite our spark through life's ebbs and flows and continue to shine brighter. Until next time, look forward to connecting.
Thank you, Marla. Oh, the power of the breath. I did those with you. I just love the breath work that you do and your beautiful yogic practice, meditation. Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, very often we can be ashamed, embarrassed. It can just feel like you were talking about, you know, that little spot, it can turn into your spotlight. I love how you shared how you went into your creative process, and just a wonderful lesson that you've shared there about deep love and self-acceptance.
Yes, absolutely. And that can turn into a lot of activation. I like to say reawakening that spark and reawakening like dormant energy. We never know what we're going to be when we grow up, and it can keep changing. So I love all of the weaving ins on the conversation today about change and transformation and pivoting, and how my business paper said I wanted to own an art gallery one day. And I had no idea that one day I would be painting, and my painting would end up being, you know, in the Civic Center and out on display for a month and a half this summer. So yeah, it's just wild. And people, you know, want to paint with me and meditate. And so it's a reminder that we can join together and keep raising our vibration. And we have no idea where this beautiful, wonderful, kind of calm but chaotic world can take us. So yeah,
it's wonderful. Congratulations on everything that you have created, and I feel like together collectively, you know, everything, all the subjects today on today's showcase, on every single showcase that we do, collectively coming together, supporting one another, sharing stories, we are raising the vibration of the planet. And oh my goodness, does the planet need that at the moment? So thank you for bringing your beautiful love and light to not only the Women Thrive community, but also to the world, Marla.
Thank you.
Marla, could you share with us again where we can find you on socials, etc.?
Absolutely. I do have a Substack, and it's Marla Sachs, and that's a blogging platform. And I have marlasachs.com. It's SACKS, so MARLA. And sometimes it, you know, the I and the L look similar. So MARLA SACKS. You can find me on Substack, on Facebook. I have the Radiant Woman Shine Facebook group, and lots of different ways on Instagram at Marla Sachs, LinkedIn, YouTube, and more is coming. So
amazing. Thank you so much, Marla. Thank you for coming and speaking today. And we are really looking forward to your talk next year.
Thank you.
So that was the wonderful Marla Sachs. Please make sure that you go and connect with her, join her Substack. She's blogging away on there, and she's going to be able to share some more of her wonderful insights. So how are we doing? I love watching all the comments. I'm so glad that you are enjoying the talks and you're supporting our wonderful speakers. And we have one more speaker to go. I see her in the green room. I'm so excited to be able to introduce her to you. So her name is Dr. 𝐔𝐳𝐞𝐬. She is the founder of Empathos Coaching and holds a PhD in psychology with a focus on empathy, physiology. I'm so sorry. Let me just say this again. Jacqueline, I want to make sure that I'm doing like a proper intro for you. And again, I'm tripping over my words.
No, it's
is it psychology or is it physiology?
No, it's philosophy and
philosophy.
Yeah, so it's philosophy of emotion and moral psychology.
And psychology. Let me just do it again because I know that we're recording this, so I just want to make sure that we have this. So it's physiologic. Say that again. Sorry. Philosophy.
And moral psychology.
Okay, philosophy. Jacqueline is the founder of Empath Coaching and holds a PhD in philosophy with a focus on empathy, philosophy of emotion, and moral psychology. Blending academic expertise with her own lived experiences, she guides strong, independent women to embrace self-empathy, establish empowered boundaries, and create relationships that reflect their true worth. And Jacqueline, you're based in Canada.
Yes. Toronto.
Wonderful. Toronto in Canada. It's wonderful to have you here. It's wonderful to have you as our final speaker. Please take it away, and I will come back afterwards and we can have a little chat.
Thank you so much, Abigail, for those kind words. Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be here to share this space with all of you, with so many strong and inspiring women. So today I'm just going to kind of get into my talk, and I briefly want to go over how we can choose love without losing ourselves. So I want to start off by asking you a question. How many of you have ever been told you're too emotional or too intimidating? Or maybe you've been told the opposite. Maybe you've been told that you're too much or you're not enough. Well, I can relate to this because for years, my label has been too picky. And I have to be honest, at first, I really took this as an insult. But now I wear it like a crown because I realize that being called picky doesn't mean that I'm hard to please. It means that I know my worth. And you see, my story started before I even had words. My mother left when I was just 3 months old, and she left me in the care of my father, who did an amazing job trying to fill in both parental roles. And my mother suffered from multiple mental health issues. So as a result of this, she would drift in and out of my life like the weather. So sometimes it would be sunny, sometimes stormy, but it was never predictable. And this rhythm of love arriving and love disappearing became my blueprint. And I want to share with you today what happens when someone grows up in such instability. I became the people pleaser. I became the fixer. I became the overgiver. I became someone who would say yes to everyone and everything, even when I wanted to say no. See, I didn't have a clear conception of what healthy boundaries were. And in my mind, I thought that this was love. But in actuality, it was fear. Fear of being abandoned, fear of being too much, fear of not being enough. And it wasn't until the middle of my PhD studies where I had the opportunity to attend a conference on empathy. And at this conference, I had the privilege of listening to neuroscientist Dr. James Doty. And what Dr. Doty said was something that completely cracked me open. He said, the brain cannot distinguish between truth and untruth. So when we tell ourselves, I cannot change, or when we tell ourselves, I'm not worthy of love, the brain actually believes us, and that belief starts to shape our reality. And I knew in that moment that I had been living my life on a loop of lies that I had been telling myself. And I had to rewrite the script. So I really started to turn inward, and I said to myself, I have to start asking myself some very different questions. What is it that I want? What does Jacqueline really want? And what am I feeling right now? And when I started to ask myself those questions, what I noticed was something so powerful. So I decided to stop teaching in academia, and I decided to open my own business called Empathos Coaching, where I wanted to dedicate my life to helping strong, successful women who seem to have it all together on the outside, but are struggling internally, struggling with setting healthy boundaries, self-worth, imposter syndrome, confidence. And I wanted to help those women stop performing for love and start connecting through self-empathy. So my coaching is a little bit different because what I do is I use my theory. So I created a 3-stage empathy process, which I argue that empathy is not an emotion. It's a process that involves 3 co-constitutive stages. So these stages is what I teach in my coaching, which is self-awareness. So we have to be able to recognize what's coming up for us, right? Because we can't change what we first don't recognize. We need to be able to break those unhealthy patterns. And then we need to do the second stage, which is perspective taking. So now that we've examined what's coming up, we need to be able to look at it through a lens of compassion and not judgment. And lastly, it's what I call the action-oriented disposition stage, which is essentially now where you step into the life that you were always meant to live. And so what I want to leave you with here today is when you go home tonight, or if you're home, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say these words out loud. I am not picky. I am empowered, and I choose love without losing myself. Thank you so much.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. Thank you for finishing our showcase with a huge bang. I love what you teach. I love that you bring your incredible experience and knowledge and academic view of the world with your own personal experiences and stories, and combine that with your coaching. And you were talking about your aha moment about very often we can be telling ourselves stories and believe that that's the truth, but there's real freedom, isn't there, when we realize that actually our life is a script and we can rewrite the script.
Absolutely. It's up to us. That's right.
What a wonderful breakthrough for you. How did that feel in that moment when that was that aha moment?
The lights went off and I thought, well, I need to change something here. Yeah, it was definitely my aha moment. And then I actually went into actually studying empathy. So it was because of that conference and listening to Dr. Doty that made me actually choose to study and create this 3-stage process of empathy. So
that is wonderful. It's always really interesting for me to hear a founder's story, and also we were touching about this actually at the beginning of the showcase. Very often, and I'll say it again, very often we can look at someone like you who is very intelligent, who I look at you and I'm like, right, she's intelligent, she's beautiful on the inside and the outside, she's got it together, she's like got the awards and the accreditations and the letters after your name. But actually, to be able to hear you speak about your insecurities and about the limiting beliefs that we can often tell ourselves, the stories that we can tell ourselves, that we can in the outside look like we've got it all together and actually still have these worries about ourselves and these human tendencies. But actually what we can do is we can use that then to transform into something. And the fact that you did that, you went on that journey, and now you're able to help other people through that process, I think is just brilliant. So congratulations on everything that you've created.
So kind. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome. Sorry, I was talking over you then. Go on, go for it. You're welcome. It's wonderful to have you here, and we're really looking forward to your talk next year. Can you give us a little snippet about what you're going to be speaking about, like what are the subjects that you're going to be speaking about next year on the summit?
I think essentially I'm still going to be talking about how I'm going to be giving 3 case scenarios of 3 different women. So the stories are very real on how they struggle with these types of insecurities. So setting proper boundaries, they have masks on the outside, but they're really struggling internally. So I just want to be able to kind of really show women that yes, we struggle with all of these insecurities, but there is light at the end of the tunnel that we can overcome this. So I think it's just going to be more of like an empowerment kind of talk, and to try to bring in real life scenarios so that they can be able to relate to these stories.
Fantastic. Really, really looking forward to it. And where can people find you again on socials? Please remind us, where can we find you, your website, your social media?
Yeah, so my website is www.empathoscoaching.com. Instagram, so that's Empathos Coaching. LinkedIn, I think it's also Empathos Coaching or Dr. Jacqueline Kumar, as well as Facebook. And yeah.
Wonderful. Well, please go and follow Dr. Jacqueline. Thank you so much for coming on and finishing our showcase for us.
Thank you so much, Miguel. Thank you.
Okay, we are coming to an end of our showcase. I can't believe we have been running now for over 2 hours, and what an incredible event it's been. I just want to say thank you to all of our wonderful speakers who have come on and shared their heart, given their time, given their energy, shared their expertise. Every single one has brought their own area of expertise, but as expected, as I'm sure that you've noticed, there is a golden thread that runs between every single one of all of us. And it's been so wonderful to witness. So thank you so much for our speakers. You did a great job. Thank you so much for you, our wonderful community, our listeners, our viewers. Thank you for coming on and, giving us your energy in the comments. Please make sure that you reach out to all of our speakers, that you follow them on social media, you go and visit their website. Remember, you can now join the summit for next year. So we would love to have you there. I just want to say thank you so much for the wonderful Women Thrive team who have been working behind the scenes and every single live event. Very, very grateful for your support. And thank you for watching. Thank you to our speakers for being so inspirational. And we will see you again on the next showcase.